Le député de Canada.
Find solutions together as long as the Premier is okay with them. Mr. Speaker, yesterday while budget was being tabled, hundreds of citizens were outside this legislature asking for better working conditions. Instead of sitting down and negotiating, our Premier prefers to bring these citizens who care for the most vulnerable in our province, nursing home residents, to court to try to find their last democratic recourse available to them, to end over 10 years of appalling working conditions and diminishing wages. He talks about working together, and looks like we are starting to find a consensus here. What we need is leadership, Mr. Speaker. This legislator has a tool just for that. Article 79 of the Industrial Relations Act lays down a meaningful alternative dispute resolution mechanism to a strike called binding arbitration. Residents would continue having full service, and this injustice could be solved face-to-face. Will the Premier commit to resolving the dispute by sending it to meaningful, fair, and good faith binding arbitration?
Honourable the Premier.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I think this question has been asked before, and the situation is this. We have a new offer on the table, one that was different than every other one that's accepted. So if binding arbitration was brought forward, and the conditions around the binding arbitration were such that recognizing what every other union has agreed to, and that was the basis under which a decision will be made, maybe we have room to talk about this. But if it's a case of just throwing the door open because we've come up with some new numbers at the last minute, Mr. Speaker, that's not a fair negotiation, not for government, not for taxpayers, not for the people working in nursing homes or the people that are being served in nursing homes. So, Mr. Speaker, I would say that this whole scenario we have right now, and let's think about it. So a decision was made back in December when no longer would those positions be considered as essential. So I'm not disagreeing in the sense of whether 90% or 60% or 70% is the right number. But at the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, to all of a sudden say, okay, now that was thrown out, we're now going to walk out and leave the nursing homes vulnerable. So, Mr. Speaker, what's changed in the rules that all of a sudden gives someone a right to do that? If we need to change how the nursing homes are structured for essential workers, we need time to do it. Thank you.
The member for